Well, dudes, there's been a lot of changes, and this is the new grow out tank that I got. Another free tank I got. And it's filling out nicely. Of course, it's kind of disgusting, needs to be cleaned. Probably shouldn't have the light on. I do everything ass backwards, and this is a bare bottom. And I got a Ice Cap 30 reef sump. Way overkill for that. It's like a 50 some gallon up top, but would be upgradable. So I want to bring something up real quick. So, do you guys hate refilling auto top offs as much as I do? Like, and do you hate spending, anywhere from $100 for a decent setup, peristaltic, and a sensor to get this set up, and then having to refill this thing every like 3 days if you're in a drier state like me, like every 3 days. It's total pain in the ass, So if you recall, there used to be a 30-gallon cube over there. So what you do is you save those, right? You save whatever you had before, whatever you were upgrading from, and you take it out back in the yard and you paint it whatever color you want. What I recommend doing is doing a coat of black first, and then you can black it out, or I did something that was kind of oceany, and then you take a strip of construction tape and you tape it on the side to tell your water level. And if you can see where I'm going with this, now you have a 30-gallon auto top-off reservoir. Fill up every 3 days or fill up every 2 weeks. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. And instead of spending, $200, you could obviously pay someone to drill a hole, or you could just make a siphon with a float valve, and if you do regular maintenance, that float valve will never fail. It's just, you just pour some water on and make sure there's no salt spray. I won't say it'll never fail. That's kind of an overreach, but I think they get a bad rap, and I think it's just because you guys buy crap float valves. But even an S-ship's float valve, what I have, would be very efficient. I mean, I've had ATOs. Listen, I've had ATOs fail, shoot water everywhere, not function correctly. The tank goes to hell because the salt's out of whack. This is honestly, in my opinion, probably the most precise, no power, no frills system that you can set up. And look, and you could. I mean, hey, you could get a powered ATO system, right? Set this ugly bitch on your floor, or if you have a huge stand, I'm sure you could set it on your stand and probably work just as well. But hey, if you're on a budget and you found this oceanic cube at Goodwill for $10 and you had a makeshift smaller quarantine tank, and you're like, hey, I don't want it to go to waste, build a stand for it and everything. Well, hey, look, it doesn't have to go to waste. And the only trick I had was, so you might have to figure out a way, obviously to keep the line in place, because these lines are kind of stiff and rigid. What I did is I took a plastic cup, I drilled a hole in it, and put sand, reef safe sand that I had left over, in that cup, so that it acts as an anchor, and then push the tube all the way through it so it's all the way shoved in the corner. And I cut the end of the tubing at an angle so it's not flat, so it's never gonna just get clogged because it's flat. It's at an angle. And don't get me wrong, like, I have nothing against powered ATOs. They work great. I like that peristaltic pump I got on sale on Amazon for $27. It's a great deal. And then I got the high door temperature sensor ATO switch for, I think I got it for like $25. So you guys know me. I'm a dealaholic. I always look for deals, and I actually hardlined this sump in you know, hard plumbed it. It's got a bunch of unions and gate valves and all that fun stuff. I'll tell you a funny story. That bulkhead, when it came, that came with the tank, I had to order a new one. It was not working. This tank is all bizarre. Like the return normally is on the other side, and the drain, you know, so they're normally opposite of each other. But in this case, it looks like they retrofitted it because the back of that tank had cracked, and they didn't want a bunch of water to come in contact with that weak point of the back of the tank. So they like rednecked this. It looks like now when I got that, it looked like it was all gunked up. It had Vaseline on it. I don't understand that, but I don't know. Maybe it had some purpose to. I've heard of people making the seals last a little bit longer, but I had to get a different one. And then of course I actually got the threaded one, so I dremeled out all the threads and used a ton of, a metric boatload of the PCV glue. You don't really need that softener. I'm telling you guys, I've used this a bunch. If you're gonna hard plumb, I've had no issues at all with just be very, very, very generous with your application of the PCV glue and you'll be fine. Now, of course, not recommended that you run the light when it's cycling or else you're gonna have a huge algae bloom. Me, I kind of want to see how the light works. I don't really care. It's not a big deal to me. And updates on this big tank. Gotta say, it has come quite a ways, and things are growing fantastically. You know. And look at how well that scraper works. Just amazing. Yeah, we got a cherry red Blastomusa there. We have a Duncan, green color form Duncan. The Zoas are growing really nicely. Still not having a ton of success with the Ganipora, but it's doing okay. And then we got back there, man, the blue light doesn't do it justice, but it is bright orange. I'm gonna have to get one of those ice cap phone clip-on filters that you get, you know. But it is bright orange and purple, and I'm not lying to you guys. These look a lot better. So I'm gonna maybe in another separate video, I'm gonna have to show you what it looks like under a correct lens, because this blue light just nukes all the color out of what the camera can capture on its own. But yeah, all I gotta say, best idea I ever had. Worst idea I ever had. Fill up every 3 days or every 2 weeks. That's, hell.